I'm not so much of a technical person. I prefer to just like give the build to the first AC, let them deal with it. When it comes to like actually building the rigs, I feel like I fall flat in that area a bit. So I just wanted to make this video and just get a bit of a rundown of how they build their cameras, what sort of bits and pieces I need to buy, how they tuck their cables, and sort of learning from people that have done it longer than me. So we are at Nick's storage locker. Just gonna learn some tricks from an actual first AC. A lot of people from the Toronto Funhouse breakdown like really thought his build was clean on the FX3 rig. This is the
Let's go.
S52X. So what's the order of operations?
I mean, I always like to start from the ground up.
Right.
So as you can see, I'm starting from the base plate system.
Right.
Even if the shoot doesn't involve any locked off or tripod shots, I always like to have a set of sticks on set to have somewhere to dock your camera. Either a set of sticks or like at least a tripod head on like a cart of some sort, somewhere you can safely dock the camera. Do some rods so we can get a battery plate on here. My go-to rod, so when you're putting focus motors or you know, stuff like that where there's torque happening, these flex a lot less than the aluminum ones.
True.
Because you have this little tilty swivelly screen. Keep it out.
Yeah.
And what I always like to do is just when you're not looking at it, just tuck it like this.
Oh yeah.
So that it's flush, you can still see stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But because generally the battery plate will get in the way of this. Got a nice little small rig, V-mount plate, non-power pass-through version, top handle, NATO.
These two Sigmas 28 to 70 and 16 to 28.
We'll use one of my V-mounts for now.
Sweet.
All my batteries are dead from my shoots.
That's fine.
What else are we powering on here? Are we putting
So I have my
wireless?
monitor and then the Hollyland.
Okay, let's start with the monitor.
Got the 702 Touch. I think for most of the builds that you did for me, like I like having my monitor up here.
The only thing I don't like about this is
Ooh, yeah, that's a lot of
mad
play.
flex, right?
Flex. That's crazy. Actually, I did see a video on YouTube. Somebody freaking bent their cage.
Yeah, I like to mount all my accessories before I run cables.
Okay.
So let's get that wireless on here.
Sure. We got the new Hollyland system that I used on one shoot so far, and it was fairly reliable. They sent me the monitor as well and a receiver.
You can, you know, give one to your art director or your makeup artist or your script supervisor, or, you know, or your sound guy. Make sure his boom doesn't dip in the frame, those kind of things.
And also it was cool with the monitor because the director, I just gave her this as well, and you can use this as a receiver and a transmitter.
Now, when you power your monitor, what do you normally do? Do you have a dummy battery? Do you have a barrel to cable?
I have NPFs like that I just pop on here, but I am gonna get V-mount in the future, and then I'll just go barrel to,
one of these.
Pretty much.
I would say that a really good spot to keep this in this configuration is right here. So I've basically combined the 90-degree L bracket with the small rig Hawk Lock quick release system.
Oh.
And I use this for all my wireless solutions. Here's a little silly thing. Small HD likes to do their own spacing on their locking pins. Thankfully, these are spring-loaded and recess into the thing.
Nice.
So yeah, we can mount this up here, and then we'll mount the Hollyland onto the Hawk Lock. It's actually pretty, I like it. It's nice. And once you see, the thing is it's too tight right now, but once you swap this plate out with the flush plate, this will fit no problem. Because ideally you want the screen facing out in case you need to like quickly troubleshoot something, right? But what's nice about yours, that is, I don't have on my Hollyland. I've got the 400S Pro, rock solid, I've been using it for years. There's definitely some design flaws with it that Hollyland has fixed in the Pyro system. The interface is on the back side. I have to power it through either barrel or Type-C, and both of which are on the back. Thankfully, the SDI is on the side, but if I'm using a camera that doesn't support SDI, my HDMI is also on the back. Whereas on the Pyro system, our video ports are both on one side, and our power ports are all on the other. I also swapped out my antennas for these stubby antennas. One thing I really like about them is they're rock solid, and so I can just pack them away into my kit and not have to remove the antennas pretty much ever. These ones I got from a buddy of mine, Shane. He's a local AC here in Toronto, Shane Pikeland. He does sell them, so if you do want a set, feel free to hit him up.
I'll link that below.
Yeah, he makes a ton of cool stuff.
What's your matte box situation? These are magnetic.
Yeah, so you can't use those.
So I can't use a matte box.
No. So this is just like my Tilta, I think it's called the Tilta Mini matte box. Okay, so now it's time to cable up.
So now that we've rigged everything, the next step is to do the cabling.
Cable up.
The art
I think think Matt struggles a little bit and wants to learn from your boy.
Yeah.
Let's hook up the D-tap splitter. Kind of inexpensive D-tap splitter I have going on right now. It's by a company called Zite. What I really like about it is it's got a 1/4 20 to screw down. So I know a lot of ACs and a lot of builds, they use Velcro. Velcro's fine, but you know, depending on where you're mounting it, it can cause disruption with heat distribution, and it can leave adhesive on your builds. Like, just not a great solution. So we can mount it up. I'm probably gonna mount it up with the cable coming out on the AC side, so that when Matt's operating, it doesn't get in his way. When you're working with a mirrorless build, it's not made for, it was never designed to be built out like this. It's important to remember that you are gonna have to make some sacrifices in where you mount things. Plug the D-tap in, you can see the light came on green.
Nice.
If anything ever goes wrong with that, it turns red. So we're gonna fit this through here, as long as it doesn't get in the way of you operating. So now we got those two things hooked up.
Nice.
Last cable we have to hook up is the camera power. We're going to try to tuck this as tight as we can, but I always like to utilize the rods if I can to wrap a cable around. It kind of just tucks it in nicely. We're going to use HDMI cables for the whole run of it.
I got that thin guy that you told me to get.
Yeah, these are really, really nice.
This is like as thin as like a headphone cable pretty much.
Yeah, very much so. One thing that's nice with cable management is you want to find the ways that the cables rest naturally, because that will help you.
Right.
You see how that kind of loops in, tucks there. But you could put like a cable tie.
I'm gonna test the Hollyland.
Wireless. I'd recommend grabbing one of these little guys. This is just a baby pin receiver to 1/4 20. It allows you to mount both horizontally and
that's cool.
vertically. So if you're shooting,
So if you're doing
content,
social, yeah, that's
yeah,
sick.
if you're doing vertical content, you can do it like that.
Wait, tell me about your rail system here, because this is really sick.
I spent many hours of trying to find the right bits to make this happen. Do keep in mind that this does not have anything to do with the monitor itself. All you need is a cage system for whatever monitor you have. 2 NATO clamps right here with a rod, 15mm rod adapter on top. I have 2 of them for stability. Then we have a 12-inch 15mm rod with 2 rod mounted handles. You know, Hollyland was smart enough to add the 2 1/4 20s with locking pins on the side, and the kit included these handles, which is really, really nice, because it saves you a few bucks from having to order your own.
That's the range on this guy. So Nick is all the way down there. I don't even know where he is, but I didn't lose you once.
Dude, I would 100% use this kit as a director's monitor.
Right? No, I think it's perfect.
You went quite far. I'd say that was like an easy, like 150 feet. I took the camera off the sticks and went like down like 3 more hallways and around 2 corners. And you said it didn't drop out once.
No, it didn't drop once.
Which is crazy good. The way I see this kit playing the best is running the transmitter on the camera, using the Pyro 7 as the handheld director's walk-around monitor, and then using the receiver on a larger monitor for Video Village, for maybe a producer, maybe a script supervisor, maybe art department. So this is a perfect example of, if I was a director, I can run around set, take this, or if I'm, you know, you're a production designer, right? I can run around and like say this is the set, oh, this needs to go this way, I can see that, whatever. Meanwhile, everybody else is still getting a full feed through the receiver.
Three devices.
All the viewing options. I can do you one better too. So I saw you, the way you grabbed it.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab something here. Guys, if you want to be a good AC, just get some bits.
All the bits.
All the bits. I like the shape of it. It does remind me a lot of the FX6 style handle. I want to see how it feels even like with the dovetail on it.
How does that feel?
Just adds a bit of weight to the bottom.
Oof. That's kind of nice
You
though.
know, like it feels like a more of a proper cinema
build,
rig if you want to add a bit of weight to it. If you want, we can put the shark fin on and give you an Easyrig bolt, and you can try it on Easyrig too.
Yes, yeah. Walk like normal speed.
It looks amazing.
Let's go high.
This is handheld, bro. This is like normal walking speed.
We added this eye bolt so we can connect it to the Easyrig. We did some test shots that I'll put up on the screen, but the stabilization on this camera is freaking insane. It looks like we're pretty much on a gimbal and it's just the regular stabilization mode.
I'm very impressed with the sensor and the stabilization on this camera. Kind of eliminates the need to own a gimbal for it.
Stabilization off.
You can definitely tell it looks handheld now.
But I guess if you're going for that look,
yeah, which most of the time I feel like you are.
We'll call it there. I don't know what I'm gonna title this video or anything. Just good to get some tips from Nick about like what you could do with your builds, teaching me some cable management tips and how to keep it clean. That's what we got. Thanks for watching.